Alapan Bandopadhyay, the officer in the core of the latest flashpoint between Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been served notice by the centre for skipping a meeting that was chaired by the Prime Minister. Mr. Bandopadhyay retired yesterday as Bengal's Chief Secretary and was immediately appointed as the Chief Advisor to the state government by Mamata Banerjee, who had refused to release him after the centre ordered his transfer on Friday. A show-cause notice put out last evening asked him to explain his absence from that very meeting on Cyclone Yas in Bengal. The centre has served notice under the Disaster Management Act and asked Mr. Bandopadhyay to respond within 3 days. Now, the governor of West Bengal has put out a tweet saying that in order to constrained by false narrative to put the record straight on the 27th of May, may I talk urgent. Therefore, on the phone, it indicated there was a plan to boycott the meeting by the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. There was a plan to boycott by her and officials of the Prime Minister's review meet, is what he has put out in a tweet. Now we have my colleague Saurabh Gupta joining us. Saurabh, now the governor is alleging that there was a plan to boycott that meeting by Mamata Banerjee. The state versus centre, the political fight seems to continue.
Well, the governor of West Bengal has been playing a political role and many would say going much beyond his constitutional role or the role that he's supposed to play. But in all of this, this has become a political issue and the governor is adding to the politics of it. Obviously, at this point, it's one person's word against another's. The chief minister says she met the prime minister, she asked for his permission and left. Now the governor says there was a plan to boycott. But obviously, all of this is affecting the bureaucracy. And why is it affecting the bureaucracy? Because it's the former chief secretary who was given an extension for COVID management in the middle of a pandemic. Mamata Banerjee did not want to change of guard as far as the head of administration is concerned. And in all of this, you've seen now the fallout of this is not only political in terms of the acrimonious, battle that we've seen between the TMC and the BJP, but also it is, in terms of center-state relations, federal issues, federalism, because all of this at the end of the day, moving officers from, cadres or moving them to central deputation is something that's usually done in consultation. And there has to be consultation on these issues. But in this case, it seems to have been done completely unilaterally. Now the centre is saying in its show-cause notice, before, earlier it had just asked him to report to Delhi, which he refused to do. He then retired and was appointed chief advisor to the chief minister. Now the centre in a show-cause notice is saying it's because of the meeting. But this is something that Mamata Banerjee raised in her letter earlier. She said, I hope the prime minister, I hope this has got nothing to do with a meeting at Kalaikunda. But the issue really is, at a time when there's a pandemic, at a time when there's a cyclone that has devastated the state, should this kind of politics be happening? And Mamata Banerjee has said that, this is only because the BJP hasn't been able to stomach its defeat in Bengal and they are targeting her. But because she's won this massive majority, they are now targeting her officers, including the chief secretary, who's the topmost administrative official in the state. And this is something that's going to play out in the next few days. Obviously, we've not seen the end of this. And a political battle is brewing between Mamata Banerjee and Narendra Modi. And several, a bureaucrat is also caught in the middle of it. And also, what you see is an ugly confrontation between the centre and the state, which Mamata Banerjee accuses Prime Minister Modi of adding to and, always adding to confrontation when it comes to Bengal.
Right. Thank you, Saurabh, for joining us with all those details.